guys, it's Pastor Sebastian here. I'm just coming to you with another devotional. I know it's only a day later, but I wanted to kind of do 3 of them this weekend. You know, Easter weekend is one of the biggest things that we have as Christians. You know, without Easter weekend, Christianity wouldn't be what it is. So you have the death of Jesus on Friday, so Good Friday. Then you have Saturday, which is the second day. So Saturday is the day where the disciples are currently they're just clutter-minded, and they're running all around, they're scared, they don't know what's going to happen, they don't know if Jesus is truly coming back, they don't know what's going on, and you can tell that by them running and going back to what they did before. And then you got the third day, which is where Jesus comes up, and you have the disciples ecstatic to see Jesus again. You get Peter, who you can just tell is very emotional, knowing that he denied Jesus 3 times. And then you get Thomas, who's like, listen, I have to see the holes to even believe that it's truly him. So, I mean, you have many different ways to come at this through Easter weekend. So what I wanted to do today was basically share, what does Easter mean to me? You know, there's a verse in Luke 23, verse 34. It says, forgive them, for they not know what they do. So Jesus has sitting here, he's been beaten, he's been battered, to a point you can't even recognize him. He's been put up on a criminal's cross for a crime he did not commit. And he looks at him and he says, listen, God, forgive them. Forgive them, for they don't know what they do. You know, I used to be a drug addict. I snorted cocaine. I popped pills. I used to smoke a lot of weed. We did that a lot. And then I was an alcoholic. At the same time, I drank. And I didn't just drink once a week. I would go through about a handle of Captain Morgan. It was so bad that I couldn't pay my bills. And I was working at a decent job for at that time I was probably about 20 when I had gotten promoted into management at a company. And I did really well there. But I never had Jesus. Jesus never followed me through that. And there was times where I thought I'd found Jesus and stuff, but I realized that I was searching for something, but I wasn't ready to make a commitment. And I struggled. And I allowed drugs and alcohol just to kind of beat me up and take advantage of me, and it filled a void in me. Even though it was just for a short period of time, that high, or you know what, being drunk and just being able just to get away from everything, it filled a void. A void that should have been filled with Jesus, but was filled with things of this world. And you know, the one thing that a drug addict and alcoholic needs to understand is that they're forgiven. You know, any sinner needs to understand that they're forgiven. And that was something that took me a long time to understand. And it took me to really, truly realize the damage I was putting on my family and stuff. To understand, and at that time I wasn't married, but I'm talking about aunts, uncles, sisters, and just everything. My mom, my dad, just stuff I was putting on them. And it was terrible. It was terrible. There was a point in time where I was living on people's couches. That was as far as I could go. There was times where I thought about taking my own life. Because I would continuously try to fill a void that's only fillable by Jesus. Jesus can only fill that hole in your heart, but you try many other things. And I think a lot of times we try those things because we're afraid of the commitment that'll come from it. And I realized that yes, I am forgiven by Jesus. But there's also a commitment that I make to Jesus when I accept that he has forgiven me. That's just to follow him. You know, the disciples, they had an understanding that they were supposed to follow Jesus. And when Jesus left and he had died, they realized that he was no longer there to follow. So they frantically started searching and started trying to fill that void that Jesus had filled for them, because they were unsure of if he was coming back or not. You know, we're in a tough time right now, and there's a lot going on. COVID-19. You can turn on your news channel, it's going to be on every news channel. You're going to see every governor, every mayor, every city council person giving some kind of update on it. And we're in a tough time. And we're trying to fill that void because fear has come into our lives. And here it is, Easter. The day before Easter, we're just like the disciples. We're turning back to things that we didn't realize we'd turn back to. We're trying to fill the void with stuff that we didn't understand. But I'm here to tell you, Jesus is telling you two things today. He's saying, I want to forgive you. And he's saying, all you got to do is accept that forgiveness. You do those two things. Well, you accept that forgiveness, and then the other thing that you got to do is just understand that it comes with a commitment to follow him. But you accept his forgiveness and you understand that commitment and you follow through. I promise you, things are going to get better. I'm not saying that it's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next year. I'm living proof that here we are a year later after having a heart procedure, and a year and a half later after having discovered some heart problems I had, that it's not tomorrow it gets better. But God has a plan, and at some point it will get better. I mean, at the end of the day, I know one thing's for sure. He has an eternal plan for me. So that's what I wanted to share. One thing that helps me, and maybe it'll help you, I don't carry these around as much anymore, but I always have one either in my truck or somewhere in my house with me. Everybody should have them in their house, but I keep them in drawers and not in toolboxes. This is a nail. A simple nail. And I'll allow this to be at least somewhere where I can find it, to know one thing. You know, the pain that Jesus was willing to take for me. So I should be willing to follow him. And if that requires me to take some pain, so be it. But that eternal plan God has for me is all I'm worried about. I want to thank you for watching. I want to let our youth know at UCC that I still miss y'all and we love y'all. And we just want to continue to encourage y'all. Y'all are going through a rough time right now in school and everything. So with not having school, y'all are having a rough time and being able to do everything online. So I just want to reach out to y'all. I've reached out to some of our youth, and I've actually had a couple of our youth just explain that, hey, you know, it's not been an easy time for them. So what I want you to do is just pray. Pray this week for our youth. Pray for your classmates and your fellow youth that are with you. And just pray and try to meet with their needs. Right now there's people within our youth group and there's people within your schools that need lots of encouragement. Do that. One last challenge, which I said yesterday, is in this time that you have, start reading the Gospels. There's 4 of them: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Read those 4 Gospels. But our pastor sat me down and he said, hey, I want you to take it a step further with them. And so parents, I'm going to ask you to take this challenge too, to read those 4 Gospels with your kids. But I want y'all to journal them. Get a spiral notebook. Many of y'all probably have one at home because you had them for school and you may not have used it. Take that spiral notebook and journal. Start in Matthew 1. Matthew 1 is the lineage of Jesus. So you can just sit there and you can write, hey, the lineage of Jesus, and write down things that stand out to you. Also, as you continue going, Matthew 2, write down, oh, you know, this is what stands out. This is what I understand about it. And write down the stuff you don't understand. Pray about it. Write down your prayer request. Take time to really just focus on getting yourself and your situation right in this time. So that way when you get back to school, when you get back to work, parents, you'll be able to really focus on bringing Jesus to your fellow classmates and your co-workers. So that's just my challenge, is really to focus on yourself and getting yourself right in this time. And just journal. Take a spiral notebook and journal what you see. Journal Matthew 1, journal Matthew 2, journal Matthew 3, all the way up to Matthew 28. And then go to Mark, and then go to Luke, and then go to John. And just continue to journal and write down what God tells you. I thank y'all. Y'all have an amazing day. I will have one more video coming out tomorrow for Easter. And then after that, I will probably be done for a couple of days. I know I will be doing some stuff with our Facebook page for a devotional. So as soon as we get through that, or as soon as I get done with that, I'll be linking that on here as well, so that way y'all can see those. I want to thank you so much. Y'all have an amazing, blessed Easter weekend. Stay safe, and if anything you need, let me know. I am here for you. Thank you so much. So we had quite a few of y'all talk about what these fish were, and several of y'all were right. They are angelfish. As I can get closer, you can see the babies down there. So, but yes, they are baby angelfish. These are adult angelfish, but those are baby angelfish. So yes, angelfish. I got one more for you to try to figure out. So I'm actually in here in basically our fish room now. Is we got 3 different tanks. So I'm going to show you one of our tanks. It's actually our biggest fish that we have. Try to guess what these fish are. In this tank, I will tell you there is a pleco, a Florida pleco. But other than that, there's 2 other fish in this tank that are exactly the same. So I'm going to show you. And those are the fish right there. So if you can tell me what those fish are called, again, we'll be giving out candy bars. Again, we love y'all. Have a good week.